American truckers on the road to ruin. The American trucking industry is in crisis, a crisis ignored by many but felt deeply by those who keep our country moving. Drivers, the backbone of our nation's economy, are being squeezed from all sides. Inflation is soaring, diesel prices are crippling. Every mile they drive, every delivery they make is becoming more and more costly. Brokers and companies are taking massive cuts, leaving drivers with less and less. The government? Silent. The very people who ensure our shelves are stocked and our lives run smoothly are being left to fend for themselves. This isn't just about truckers, it's about all of us. Every community, every household, every individual relies on the goods these drivers deliver. Our economy, our way of life, it all depends on these trucks. From the food on our tables to the clothes on our backs, everything is transported by these hardworking individuals. And right now, they're headed for a cliff. We rely on truckers. They deliver everything. But the road ahead is treacherous, and without support, many may not make it. Food, medicine, clothes, the essentials of life. These are the things truckers bring to us every day, often without thanks or recognition. And let's not forget the fuel in our cars. Without truckers, even our ability to travel would be compromised. But who's looking out for them? Who's ensuring they get a fair shake? The answer is troubling. Who's ensuring they get a fair shake? The answer is a deafening silence. These drivers are left to navigate a system that seems stacked against them. The answer is a deafening silence. The struggles of truckers are often overlooked, their voices unheard in the corridors of power. This isn't just a trucking crisis, it's a moral crisis. It's a call to action for all of us to recognize the vital role these drivers play and to stand up for their rights and well-being. The road to ruin can be avoided, but only if we act now. Inflation's heavy hand crushing drivers at the pump. Inflation is hitting everyone hard, but for truckers, it's a knockout punch. They're paying record prices for diesel. Every mile they drive eats away at their earnings. Imagine filling up your car and watching hundreds of dollars disappear. That's the reality for truckers every single day. They're working longer hours, driving further distances, all to make ends meet. But the math doesn't add up. The more they drive, the deeper they fall into debt. This isn't sustainable. Something has to give. Brokers and companies, feasting on the backs of truckers. Brokers and trucking companies are the middlemen. They connect shippers with truckers, and they're getting rich while drivers struggle. They take huge commissions, squeezing every last dollar out of each haul. Truckers are treated like disposable assets, not human beings with families to feed. These companies dangle promises of high pay and good benefits, but the reality is far different. Truckers are hit with hidden fees, unfair contracts, and constant pressure to meet impossible deadlines. It's exploitation, plain and simple. A day in the life of a trucker, struggling to make ends meet. Meet Mike. He's been a trucker for 20 years. Over the years, he's seen the industry change, the roads evolve, and the demands increase. He loves the open road, the freedom of the job, the feeling of the wind in his hair, the endless horizon, and the sense of adventure that comes with every new destination. But lately, it's been a struggle. The rising fuel costs, the long hours, and the constant pressure to meet tight deadlines are taking a toll. He's constantly worried about money. Every paycheck seems to disappear as quickly as it comes, swallowed by bills, maintenance costs, and the ever-increasing cost of living. He's missing his kids' birthdays, his wife's anniversaries. The moments that matter most are slipping through his fingers, replaced by the hum of the engine and the miles ticking by. He's living out of his truck, eating fast food and sleeping in truck stops. The comforts of home are a distant memory, replaced by the cramped quarters of his cab and the neon lights of roadside diners. Mike is just one of thousands of truckers facing this reality. Each one has a story, a family, and dreams that seem just out of reach. They're the unseen faces behind the products we take for granted. Every item on the shelves, every package at our door, has a journey that started with a trucker like Mike. They work tirelessly, often in dangerous conditions, to keep our country running. Through rain, snow, and the darkest nights, they push on, driven by a sense of duty and the need to provide for their families. And they're being pushed to the brink. The physical and emotional toll is immense, and the support they receive is often minimal. It's a life of sacrifice, resilience, and unspoken heroism. Section 5. The human cost, families torn apart by financial strain. The trucking industry is facing a crisis that goes beyond the economic impact. It's a crisis that is deeply personal and affects the very fabric of family life. The trucking crisis isn't just about numbers, it's about people. It's about the men and women who spend countless hours on the road, away from their loved ones, trying to make ends meet. Real people with families, dreams, and aspirations. These truck drivers have hopes for a better future, not just for themselves, but for their children and spouses. The financial strain is taking a devastating toll. The stress of mounting bills and the pressure to provide is overwhelming. Many truck drivers find themselves in a constant state of worry. Marriages are crumbling under the pressure. The long absences and financial hardships are causing rifts that are hard to mend. Couples argue more frequently, and the emotional distance grows. Children are growing up without their parents. The absence of a parent during crucial moments of their childhood leaves a void that is hard to fill. Birthdays, school events, and simple daily interactions are missed. The mental and emotional well-being of truckers is suffering. The long hours, the isolation, the constant worry. It's a recipe for disaster. Many truck drivers battle with loneliness and depression. It's a recipe for disaster. The road ahead seems endless, and the challenges insurmountable. Yet they keep going, driven by the need to support their families. And yet, they continue to drive because they have no other choice. The determination in their eyes speaks volumes about their resilience and commitment, because they have no other choice. They pack their bags, say their goodbyes, and hit the road once again, knowing that their families depend on them. They have families to support, bills to pay. Every mile they drive is a testament to their dedication and love for their families. The financial strain may be immense, but their resolve is even stronger. Section 6. A supply chain on the brink, the dire consequences of inaction. The trucking industry is the lifeblood of our economy. It connects producers to consumers, ensuring goods flow freely across the nation. But the industry is on the verge of collapse. Empty shelves, rising prices, and delayed deliveries are just the tip of the iceberg. If we don't act now, the consequences will be catastrophic. The economy could grind to a halt. Businesses will shutter. Jobs will be lost. The very fabric of our society is under threat. Section 7. The deafening silence. Government apathy fuels the crisis. Where is the government in all of this? Where is the outrage? The action? The answer is a deafening silence. Politicians are quick to praise truckers as essential workers, but slow to address their plight. They offer empty promises and meaningless gestures while the industry burns. This isn't just negligence, it's a betrayal. The government has a responsibility to support the backbone of our economy. But they've failed. They've turned their backs on the very people who keep our country running. Section 8. A history of neglect, broken promises, and empty gestures. This isn't a new problem. The trucking industry has been struggling for years. Deregulation, rising costs, and a lack of support have created a perfect storm. Truckers have been sounding the alarm, but their pleas have fallen on deaf ears. Time and time again, the government has promised to address their concerns. But nothing changes. The cycle of neglect and exploitation continues. How many more truckers have to suffer before someone listens? Section 9. A call to action. Urgent measures to save the trucking industry. We need action, now. The government must intervene to save the trucking industry. We need regulations that protect drivers from exploitation by brokers and companies. We need financial assistance to offset the crippling cost of fuel. We need to ensure that truckers receive fair wages, decent benefits, and respect. This isn't just about the trucking industry, it's about the future of our country. Section 10. Empowering truckers. A roadmap for a sustainable future. We need to create a sustainable future for the trucking industry. One where drivers are treated with dignity and respect. One where they can earn a decent living and support their families. We need to invest in training programs, improve working conditions, and promote driver well-being. We need to transition to a cleaner, more efficient trucking industry. One that embraces technology, reduces emissions, and prioritizes the health and safety of our drivers. Section 11. Time is running out. The fate of the American economy hangs in the balance. The clock is ticking. Every day that passes, the trucking crisis deepens. The government must act now before it's too late. The fate of the American economy, our way of life, hangs in the balance. We cannot afford to ignore this crisis any longer. The time for action is now. We must demand that our elected officials prioritize the needs of truckers, the backbone of our nation. The future of our country depends on it.